Hi everyone, welcome to another podcast at my channel. Today we are having a very special guest with us, Anuj Sharma. Let's first go with the introduction of Anuj. So Anuj, can you please introduce yourself?
Sure. So I am Anuj Sharma and I am from Jalandhar, Punjab, and I have completed my BTech in Computer Science from Chandigarh Group of Colleges, Landra.
So Anuj, we just want to know, how did you apply for Flipkart? And
So basically, if I tell you frankly, so from my college days onwards, I was really interested to join Flipkart as a software engineer. So from my college days only, I started applying to Flipkart from referrals, from direct career portals, from Google Forms. So few months back, I have found a Google form over a LinkedIn. So then I filled that Google form. So in that Google form, they have mentioned that they have an software development engineer hiring drive on upcoming Saturday. So I filled that form. After that, one of the recruiter reached out to me that you have filled the form and this is the procedure for the entire interview. If you are available, then you can join on Saturday.
so Anuj, I'm just curious to know, how was that interview experience look like? So how was your first round and all the rounds look like?
So basically, after applying through that form, I got a call from recruiter. Basically, that form was uploaded by a recruiter only. So they are hiring for a candidates. Then that hiring drive was on Saturday. So on Saturday, I also have an holiday. So the basically entire procedure started from approximate around 9 a.m. in the morning. So firstly, the first round that usually Flipkart takes us, it's a group coding round. They share a Google link, a Google Meet link. In that, all the candidates join at the same point of time. And couple of recruiters joins and couple of the interviewers joins that meeting. So after that, what they do, they explain the problem statement of a low level design. So they explain a problem statement of low level design for 30 minutes. In that 30 minutes, candidates can clarify their doubts. The problem statement, could something be you have to develop a wallet system, you have to develop a booking system. So they come up with the large set of large set of problems in that problem statement. And there are some bonus points that also candidate can fulfill to get some extra leverage. So this is how first round goes on. So the first round starts around 9 o'clock in the morning. So 9 to 9:30 around, they explain the entire problem statement. After that, they probably provides 1 to 1.5 hour to code that low level design. So basically in this round, we don't have to share the screen. We just have to code all the candidates basically codes in the meeting only. If they have any doubts, they can ask the recruiter directly or the interviewer which are present in the meeting. So after 1.5 hour, basically they share a Google form. In that we have to zip our code and we have to submit that code. After half an hour or 1 hour, recruiters calls you that as you have done with the coding part, now you have to explain that code and have to do some changes in the code in front of the interviewer in a Google Meet. So basically, for that, I've got a call from recruiter for the round 2.
And as to mention that Anuj is going for the SDE-2 role, right? So that's why the first round look for the LLD.
Yeah.
So how about the next round? You got a call from the recruiter,
Yeah.
and recruiter told you that you need to discuss upon your code, right? So how exactly the second round look like?
Yeah. So basically, for second round, initially recruiter, the mail that I have got initially before the interview start. So in that it's mentioned that the code that we have written in the beginning round, the code should be running. Otherwise, this interview will not be go ahead. So after that, our interview came up. Then she had my code, as I have submitted the code through the Google form. So she had my code. She opened the code on her laptop, and also I have opened the code on my laptop, and I have shared my screen. Then she told me to explain the entire code, and also the code, the problem statement they have given. Along with that, they have given a large set of test cases that we have to do. So for that test cases, to save the time at the time of interview, explaining the code to the interview, I have created a separate functions to test those functions so that in a single click, all the test cases will be running.
Okay.
So I have created something like that. So firstly, what I did is to explain my code. I started with running all the test cases. Then I have run all the test cases. The result of the test cases was matching with the expected result. Okay. Then after that, I have started explaining my approach to the interviewer.
Okay.
That this is how I have coded. This design pattern I have used in this scenario. This design pattern I have used here. Then after that, interviewer was like bit curious, so she told me to do some changes in the code. If we have to include this thing, then how you can modify your code so that you can include this directly. So as initially I have created the code very much extensible using design patterns and we can say that good object oriented programming. So I tried to do the changes that she told me, and yeah, I have made all the changes. Like she told me to do 4 to 5 changes. Then after that, she told me to modify the test cases. Then I modified the test cases, again run that. That interview basically run for around 1 hour. Then after that 1 hour, I got a call from yeah. After that 1 hour, so I was waiting for a call from HR, as I think that this round for me was good. So after a few hours, I have got again a call from HR that there is another round, a data structure and algorithm. So that we are scheduling today. So that was my third round.
So basically, the second round was more towards your code review, right?
Yeah.
And like how exactly you implemented things and putting some tweak on that particular
Yeah.
code, right? Making some use cases so that it could handle and accommodate that as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was around that only. So like for the second round, like it's more towards what you have done in the first round. Then you have moved to the second round. So is there anything that if someone is actually applying, like is there something that people can be like be aware of, like what are things to be doing and the things that most of the people might be failing in?
Yeah. So one advice from my side is like try to study system design, low level design in depth. Like there are many design patterns that you can implement to solve a problem. Then you can follow multiple principles like solid principle, don't repeat yourself, something like that. You can study all the concepts of object oriented programming. So these things will help, and also try to study about different project structure, like how you can structure your code. So like one thing that I think impressed to the interviewer is if you have created your code in a modular way, so that your project structure has like each and every, we can say that directory has a single kind of responsibility.
Right.
So if you have created a good project structure following design patterns, that will really help you. So I told you to try to study design patterns, low level design, and not only study, practice it on daily basis for different problems. Like you can search for any number of low level design problems over the Google. Then you can try to code it on yourself with the help of low level design and other design patterns.
So you mentioned like if someone is looking for the upper position role or like moving from the SD1 to SD2 role.
Yeah.
So people might be aware of like these design principles, right? The basic design principles like solid principles,
Yeah.
and design patterns, right? Then the basic principles like try, then case, and all these kind of design patterns, right?
Yeah.
And then practicing them on day-to-day basis, right?
Yeah.
Or probably like including them, even if they are not having that in their day-to-day life, they probably don't have those patterns in their code bases. They can actually implement them and that and see like how exactly these things are actually helping, right? I think when the people implement things, they better learn, right?
Yeah.
So is there any kind of like, do you have in your mind like any kind of resources from where people can learn all these things? Like, would you like to mention them?
So if I tell you frankly, like I haven't followed any specific resources for specifically for low level design, because I think that for a low level design there is no dedicated courses like which are available free.
Okay.
And if I tell you frankly, I usually prefer YouTube and Google to study. Like I haven't purchased any paid course and anything. So if I tell you, there are for low level design, there are channels like few channels like Consultants Coding, they have created several low-level design videos. And other than that, you can directly search on Google with the help of with the problem. Like suppose you want to study the low-level design of IRCTC, so you can directly search on Google low-level design of IRCTC. Then there are many Medium blogs with the help of which you can learn. And also nowadays, like one thing that helps you again is ChatGPT or any AI.
Right.
If you tell them to create a low-level design for IRCTC, then it will provide you the entire code. Then you can tell ChatGPT to add this kind of design pattern into this, then that kind of design pattern into this for your learning purpose. If you do this on daily basis, so then I think like you will get proficient in low-level design.
All right. That's great. So as you mentioned, like this was your second round where your code was actually get reviewed, right?
Yeah.
Now, what was the next round? Like after a couple of hours, you get a call, as you mentioned. Like what happened after that?
So the next round was like commonly like as same as other companies, like it's data structures and algorithm. So that round was also for 1 hour. So in that round, the interview came up with 2 problems. Like the problem one was basically of trees. So I tried to spend 30 minutes on problem 1. Firstly, I tried to write a one solution. Then I tried to optimize it. So for that, if I tell you, I used to do data structures and algorithm on various platforms like LeetCode, Geeks for Geeks, InterviewBit on daily basis. So on daily basis, I try to solve a few problems, 1 to 2 problems. So I like prepared enough for data structures and algorithm. So then I solve the first problem with the brute force approach, then optimize approach.
So what was the level of that question?
If I tell you the level of question was, we can say that medium kind of question. First question was medium.
Okay.
So like LeetCode medium or LeetCode, we can't say that LeetCode hard, but it's a center of medium or hard.
It's a good medium problem.
Yeah, it's a good medium problem. So it's something like that, right? So after that, after 30 minutes, so interviewer came up with the second problem. So that was related to something related to game theory. Okay, it's something related to game theory. So they came up with some requirements. So this is the game that we have to do. So they came up with the requirements. Then I tried to solve the problem. Then firstly think of the brute force solution. Then try to think of some optimized solution. Then after that, interview lasts for 1 hour. Then after that interview, I thought that the interview was like good. So then interview was wrapped up. Okay.
So like, do Flipkart actually follow any kind of like what do you call it? The favorite topics of Flipkart that you probably find out on the internet before giving the interview.
So basically, if I tell you though, so the workforce for Flipkart is very huge.
Yeah.
So like favorite topics or same kind of question usually get repeated in the companies which have like some like
very small
very few number of candidates because they are taking interview on daily basis.
Correct.
Usually they sometimes don't get time to get prepared.
Yeah, exactly.
So Flipkart has a huge number of we can say that interviewers.
Right.
So they usually we can't predict.
Yeah,
So
correct.
yeah.
So basically, I think for Flipkart and any kind of big MNC, like you would be prepared for all the topics, and there's no SS topic that you should be focusing on before any interview, right?
Yeah.
I think Flipkart makes sense for that.
Yeah.
Okay. So after your third round, right, which was a data structure and algorithm round, where you were asked 2 questions.
Yeah.
So after that, what happened? Like after like how much time your next call came? What happened after that?
Next day, like I had a round which is low level design.
Okay.
So it's like one-on-one round. Like I am in the meeting and one interviewer.
Okay.
So he came up with a problem which is related to a low level design.
Okay.
So firstly he told me to create a database design, like entity design for that. Firstly he explained me that problem. So it was related to again it's something like a game.
Okay.
So that we have to create. So I was not aware of that game, like what type of game that was. So interview was really friendly. So he explained me entire game. Okay. So this is the rules that we have to do. So he explained me that all the things. And after that, I started coding. Like firstly, I explained my approach. This is how I am thinking. Then I created a database design. Like this is how my entity look like. like this is how my tables look like. So I tried to normalize all the tables.
Right.
So then after that, I started writing the code. Like it's a kind of pseudo code that I have to write. Then in that also, I tried to follow design patterns, different principles like solid principle, repeat yourself, object-oriented programming. Right. Then I tried to code it. Then interview. Give some like we can say that inputs from his end, like this should be done in some other way. Right. Then I try to think in other way. Then I try to code it again. This is how the interview completed after 1 hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like it was more towards the low level design.
Yeah.
And you were asked that the game problem, right?
Yeah.
So like are you able to like is that was the expectation to design the everything, right, or a small portion of that game?
Okay, so basically, firstly, they have expectation to design a database. I started approaching it like this. Like this, these are the all entities which we are required to solve that game. Right. So I wrote all the entities. So interview told me in the beginning only that you can try to write a pseudocode also. Like that, that's totally fine. Like he was moreover interested toward the logic.
Yeah, understanding.
And the way I am liking writing the code. This is how he's interested in that things. So I have implemented the entire program like that he told me.
Do you believe in that, like in an interview or in any software engineering role, like the coding is the most easiest part, but the solution and the thinking, problem solving skills is something that actually matters.
Yeah. So first thing, the communication skills matter. How you are presenting your solution in front of an interviewer. Like some candidates have like good problem solving skills, everything, but they are not able to present their solution in front of an interviewer. So first thing is this. Like,
how do you recommend like how to improve on that?
So for that, what you can do, you can start with the mock interviews with your friends or with some your
seniors.
Yeah, seniors of your college. You can like convince them that they can take your interview once in a week. So with the help of that, like you can improve your that skills. Yeah,
Absolutely. I think with practice, eventually you get that particular skill of actually communication. Like I used to be very shy, but later on I started doing this. So yeah, I think it's just a part of like a practice. Okay, so after this, so after your fourth interview, that was the low-level design interview, right? So after that, what's the next thing that came up?
So next thing came up with the I have a round with the engineering manager. So engineering manager round was more over towards like what was my past experience, like which kind of projects I have did, and some questions related to higher level design. Okay, so that he asked, and after that I have explained like which type of projects that I have did in my past. So what kind of problem I have faced and how I tried to solve that problem and how I solved it. Right. And after that, some we can say that general kind of question, like related to we can say that something like this: do you have any conflict earlier in your company? Like some general questions. So that's why manager was also very friendly. So like we had a good conversation.
So it was not a dedicated technical round, but it's more towards the understanding part, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so where they need to understand how your like your previous experience, and how was your work looked like, right? So it was like that only, because at some places like engineering manager rounds also lies between the technical round. They also have this kind of thing, but I think in your case it won't happen.
Yeah, in this case, I don't have to code anything, but I have to explain all the technical concepts that he asked me, like related to high level design, some concepts related to low level design, my past experience, the projects I have worked on, how I have like started approaching that project, what was the good approach, like some question related to also like as I have told that in this project I have used MongoDB. So he asked me question like why you have preferred to use MongoDB, why not Postgres. Then I have explained this is my use case, so that's why I choose MongoDB over Postgres. So that this is how some for an hour conversation goes.
Okay, so that was your I believe the last round.
Yeah, this is my next.
Okay. After that, like, is there any kind of like HR discussions related to that?
So after that, I had a discussion with HR, like that related to my feedback. Then she shared me a feedback. Then she told me that we are offering you a position of a software engineer too at Flipkart. So this is how entire conversation goes on.
So like this happened just after your interview, or after a couple of days they give you?
Yeah,
the
after
feedback?
2 days, I got a call from an HR that
We are offering you this role.
yeah, we are offering
Finally.
this role. Yeah.
Correct. So I think that was a great, actually, like detailed interview experience that Anuj have shared with us. Actually, he have actually told me this before as well. I thought just recording it and sharing it with everyone, like who is looking for like what the current aspiring software engineers and those who are actually working right now, right? So really great learning from Anuj. So thank you so much, Anuj. Nice talking
Thank
to
you
you.
very much.
And the last thing that we need to know about, like, would you like to share any kind of tips and like any kind of things that actually help any kind of aspiring software engineer or current working software engineer? Because like everyone want to actually get into a different role or just get started with their career, right? So any kind of a piece of advice that you want to share that can help all the type of engineers over there?
Yeah. So basically, the advice that I can give is basically don't ever like stop coding, like which is data structures and algorithm. I have an habit like if I don't have much work pressure or anything, if I have free time, then I usually prefer to solve 1 to 2 questions on daily basis. Right. So like with the help of that, my we can say that pace in data structure and algorithm are going on. So and after that, try to study low level design, not only study, code it on daily basis. Like what you can do, you can create a GitHub repository, you can code a low level design and push it on GitHub repository, so that in future whenever you have an interview, so you can refer that code that you have written earlier.
Right.
And one more thing, the company in which you are currently working and you are solving any problem and working on any project. So in that project, before directly jumping into coding part, firstly try to explore for the multiple solution. What are the best solution to solve this problem?
Right.
What are the patterns that we can use to solve this problem?
Correct.
So with the help of this, like you will get how you can use that things that you have studied in low level design in real world.
Correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, that was really great actually. Like Anuj have shared like a great piece of advice with you all. So thank you so much, Anuj. It was nice talking to you.
Yeah,
And,
thank you, Imran.
see you again on this podcast. So thank you so much, Anuj.
Sure, Amraj. Thank you. Bye bye.